Wear a helmet when you ride a bike. When did that start? My dad thought a concussion made me smarter. When I was a kid, I'm the oldest of 3 boys. My brother just younger than me. He's 13 months younger than me. It was a long winter. And we're very competitive in my family, still to this day. Corey was the very, very, very talented athlete. And he challenged me to a bike race one day when I was about 9 years old, and he was 8. And I thought, I'm going to kill him on this bike race. This isn't even fair. I got a 10-speed. He's still got that little banana seat, whatever that thing is. And he said, I want to challenge you to a race. And I said, okay. He said, let's get to the end of the road. We're going to race down the street. We're going to get to our driveway. We're going to skid, do a U-turn, race back to the end of the street. Whoever wins has to buy the other brother ice cream from the pervert in the ice cream truck. Right? I mean, seriously, right? Come on. And so we get to the end of the street. And Corey says, on your mark, get set, go. He was remarkably friendly. He's never friendly when he competes. And so we're racing, and I'm ahead of him, and I'm crushing him. I'm starting to feel bad a little, not that bad. I get to the driveway. I hit the brakes to skid. No brakes. 0 brakes, not a single brake. I hit the garage door doing about 80 miles an hour. Boom! The whole house shakes. I flip over face first in the garage door. I'm going so fast, the rear of the bike comes up, hits me in the back of the head. I've got a bloody nose, fat lip. I'm laying in the driveway. My brother is laying in the front yard. I disconnected your brakes. Really? Really? Looking for a little reinforcement. I go in the house, my dad's standing in the kitchen. He looks at me and says, what happened to you? You get in a fight? I said, no. I was racing Corey on my bike, and he disconnected my brakes, and I hit the garage door. My dad looked at me and said, you hit the garage door? Whose garage door did you hit? I said, I hit our garage door. He said, you better not have messed up my garage door. Worried about a little helmet. What are you talking about? We need to toughen up a little bit. Our kids walking around the house showing their rear end to this other little kid being a nasty little kid. We can't hurt them, can't hurt their feelings. So occasionally we go up and grab them on the inside of the bicep and pinch a little, right? Am I alone here? So Child Protective Services doesn't find the wound. And then, and finally they take their little kid to Dr. Phil for a little relationship rescue. And now we're going on a hunting expedition, aren't we? You ever notice when you're mad at a kid, you can barely talk? We just had a conversation. Dude, what happened? Your child looks at you like this. I don't know what you're talking about right now. Didn't we have a conversation just a few hours ago about my behavioral expectations? Yes, I seem to recall such a conversation. It was actually more of a lecture. Didn't you agree to abide by my expectations? Yes, at the time, your expectations seemed completely reasonable. Then what happened? The kid says what? Oh. So you look at the kid and you say, I really want an explanation. Your child looks you right in the eyes and says, do you really want an explanation, or is that simply a rhetorical question? No, wise guy, I really want an explanation. So your child looks you right in the eyes and says, you know, I got to tell you, I gave careful consideration to your request for me to be nice to that kid. But after soccer and t-ball and all you got me doing every day, I didn't know how to be nice to that kid. Plus, with my past experiences, I didn't think I really had the resources to do it. Plus, the kid's kind of a brat. I thought it was his fault, and with all the other priorities I have, I didn't really think I could do it. But then it occurred to me, the real problem in this family is a compensation problem. You know, I'm only getting about 50 cents a week from you right now. If you'd crank it up a little bit, you could get more than a grin out of me. But right now, a grin's all 50 cents is really worth. But I would even be willing to do that. I would be willing to stretch myself, Mom, if we could solve the staffing problems. You know, I'm an only child, and I'm carrying nice all by myself. If you and Daddy get busy and knock out a couple more kids, we could spread nice amongst all of us. But right now, I'm carrying it all by myself, and I don't think it's my job. Plus, since when does a 5-year-old have the equipment and technology to be nice to another kid? I've told you we've got staffing problems, and I can't follow through anyway at my age. Plus, I'm so tired of you and Dad talking about politics all the time, I just decided to be lazy. And speaking of you and Dad, after watching you two get along, I don't really know how to get along with another person. Plus, I think that kid's crazy anyway, and I didn't believe you at the time, and I just kind of became forgetful because all the interruptions. Plus, did you meet that kid? He has a fascination with military equipment. He scares me. My guess, thank you for that. That list was getting a little long. You people were scaring me, I don't mind telling you. My guess is none of you in this room would allow your child to get away with one single excuse on this flip chart. And yet I'll guarantee you every one of us in this room have used something on that flip chart, including me, in the last 60 to 90 days to justify why we have not more effectively closed the gap between intention and actual execution. You see, the real thing about customer experiences is this. Customers want the experience to blend and connect without all of this in the way. And yet, often I hear people say, well, you don't understand, we don't have the staffing, we don't have the resources, we're blah, 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 right? But we don't, as adults, call these excuses. What do we call them? Reasons, and good reasons, right? I was speaking in Seattle, Washington, at a very large venue. Unlike today, where I get to be with you guys for 2 days, which I'm very excited about. On that particular day, they flew me in. I spoke in the morning. I had to leave immediately. And so when I left, I went backstage, and they took me out a side door, and I was about to get in my car, and we had just gone to break as a group, and there was a group of people coming down the sidewalk on a break, and there was a woman in the group, and she said, Mike, I need to talk to you. And I said, call my lawyer. And then I realized, wrong woman. So sorry, some of my personal issues get in the way sometimes. And so I said, what is it, ma'am? And she said, you don't understand. These are real in my business. Sometimes I don't have resources. Sometimes I don't have the time. Sometimes we don't follow through. Sometimes we don't have the staffing. And I said, no, it is you that does not understand. This is called life, and that is called business. Rule number one in creating exceptional customer experiences is this. We must accept the presence of the challenges we face in business, but deny their power to flawlessly execute on the customer experience. But you see, what tends to happen is that we start to just allow excuse creep just a little bit at a time until no longer are we able to execute with some level of perfection. In what business in the world could you say to one of your customers, could you just hang out with us between 8 o'clock tomorrow morning and 5 o'clock and we'll try to get to you? You couldn't do it, right? Except for them, but we won't say that loudly. The fact of the matter is we've got to create cultures where this is no longer acceptable. Now, here's the difference, though. I am not saying that you don't have real obstacles and real challenges in your business. I am not saying that these are not real, and I am not saying they should be ignored. I'm saying they should be acknowledged, and we should create the experience regardless of their presence. You see, if my core value is going to be excellence, if execution is going to be it, then I'm going to say, yes, we have a training problem. Yes, we're in a highly political organization. Yes, our customers are demanding, and so what? So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I just need an answer to these questions, okay? Question number one. What are your customers doing right now? Right this minute, somewhere in your market area, what are your customers doing? Taking orders, selling. Here's what they're doing. They're talking about you behind your back. Must be nice, go to Dallas for your little conference. And you know they're talking about you because you talk about people behind their back. Not in a bad way. People go, oh, no, I don't. Yes, you do. Think of the last time you went to a friend's house for dinner. You weren't even backing out of their driveway yet. What were you doing? That house kind of smelled like kitty litter, didn't it? I mean, that's what we do. What was that dessert, tiramisu? I mean, we talk about people. If you want to create exceptional customer experiences, there are two words I want you to keep in mind. You must control or influence gossip. That's the way you build it. That's the way you build exceptional customer experiences.